In this video, I will show you how to create this crazy 3D map effect. And I saw this in a video of Thomas Gonnet, and his editing style is crazy. So crazy, I even created a full 1 hour deep dive on this style. Now, if you want to see this deep dive, including many other styles like Iman Gaji, Ali Abdal, Devin Yafto, Tom's project, then do join the Social Creator Club Pro. Link is in the description. You can then also win crazy prizes, get access to subscriptions that are worth $200 a month, get some potential clients, learn how to do sales, and much more. You can also check the video in the link in the description where I literally just show what's in. Now, enough about that, let's jump into it. Now, we are going to do this in After Effects, and I already have the files imported. Now, of course, when you are in the pro community, you get these files and the project file. But of course, I want you to follow along even if you're not in the pro community. So in the free community, I also posted these assets. Link for the free community is in the description. I'm just going to create a new composition, and I'm going to use the 4K 25 frames per second. And let's call this map effect. I'm going to import our map, and let's drop that in. There we go. And this is already a really cool map, as you can see. Now let's position this a bit by just moving it around, something like this, and that's cool. Now I'm first gonna build the layers. So we have some clouds here, and these are actually quite low res, but that's fine because we're gonna use them basically close to the camera anyway. But what I'm already gonna do here is set them to 3D. And that's basically enabling this 3D mode, and let's enabling the 3D mode also on our map. And that means that we can open this, and then in the transform you see the position. Now I basically want to make sure that this is close to the camera as possible. So let's move this to maybe -2000, and then let's scale it down a bit, something like this, and let's move it a bit, maybe something like this. That's perfect. Basically, it works like a real camera. The clouds are closer to the camera, so they move quicker. Now I'm going to go to toggle switches modes, and now you can see here the blending mode, and I'm going to change that to screen. It will basically make it transparent. That's exactly what we want. And now I'm going to go to layer, new camera, set it to one node camera, preset 50mm, and press OK. Now what we can do is press P for position. Basically, I can now add a movement to it. So what we can do, for example, is make sure that a bit further in our timeline, it moves a bit to the left, and then also it zooms in more. Maybe something like this. Let's move it a bit. Now we're gonna highlight France in a bit. So let's make sure that France is visible. So we have our basic movement, as you can see. It starts out here and then it moves in. Now I do want to ease this, so I'm gonna select these keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, ease, go into the graph editor, select the last keyframe, and let's drag this up to the left, and let's play this quickly. And that's really nice. It's really smooth. I like that. Now what I'm also gonna do is maybe move the clouds from left to right a bit, just so there's some movement in the clouds. So I'm gonna open this transform, or you can also press P for position and then set a keyframe. And then let's go a bit further in our timeline. And then I'm just gonna move them more, maybe to the left or to the right. I think to the right makes more sense. Let's see what this looks like. That already looks really cool, as you can see. Really cool animation. Now let's turn the clouds up for a bit. And as you can see, it is actually quite boring because there's not much movement. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna add some water, and we're also gonna add the highlight effect. And for the water, I have actually some water MP4 that we can just drag in. I'm also gonna move this down, and I'm also gonna make this 3D, and let's just change the position a bit and also make sure that it's scaled up. So press S to scale it up, and I'm gonna move it behind our image. I'm gonna go into the image, and I'm gonna go to key light, and then you can just double click this while you have the map selected. And then we can use the screen color here to select the background color. And this will, as you can see, key it out. Now I'm actually gonna play a bit with the screen gain. So I'm gonna dial that down a bit so the water is a bit darker. That already looks really cool. But in the beginning, you will see that it won't fill the whole map. We need to fix that. So I'm just gonna go into the water, and we can or add a reptile to this, especially with a pattern like this that would work. So adding a reptile can be a good thing to do. You can just double click it while having this footage selected, and then we can expand it down, up, or right. The thing is, reptile is quite heavy. So if your computer can't handle it, you can also scale up the footage. It's just a bit easier. As you can see, I scaled the water up a bit, and that works perfectly fine. Now we want to add a bit of spice. So we want to outline the country France. Oui. So I have the outline of France. We could of course manually go around this country using the pen tool, but why do it manually when you can do it automatic? And you can do this with any country, you just need an outline like this. And then we can go to Layer, Auto Trace. These settings are fine. As you can see, we'll just outline it, press OK, cool. And we can delete our PNG that we imported. We can just delete that by pressing backspace. And now we have a cool outline. I'm actually gonna turn this into 3D. And let's just see if we can align this a bit. So we can drag the position, press S to scale this down. And we can also manually do this here, actually. Just moving it around, seeing if we can get this to overlay. Press T for transparency and actually dial this down a bit. And then I'm gonna zoom in, hold spacebar to navigate around. This is actually really good, I'm happy with this. Now we're gonna go to the effects and presets and I'm gonna search for stroke. Add a stroke to this, and then I'm gonna use mask 1, set the paint style to untransparent, and then we can set the brush size to something like 10 or maybe even 20. Yeah, there we go, we're getting somewhere. Let's now press T for transparency and let's up our transparency. And if we now zoom out, as you can see, we have a perfect outline, automatically created. I'm happy with this, but of course we can stylize this a bit. We can add a glow to this or even a deep glow if you want to. A normal glow would actually also work fine. If I'm just gonna add that, you can add some radius, maybe change the intensity a bit, and that looks really cool. Now we can even animate this because we're using this stroke effect. We can animate the end or start. And the cool thing about this is, let's say we set a keyframe and we go a bit more to the front, and then we set the end keyframe to be 0. And if we now play this back, you will see an outline being created. Now there's no motion blur in this yet, so I'm gonna also add a CC Force motion blur. We can just drag this to our layer. And as you can see, this will add some motion blur here. And then you will get something like this. And again, if you want to see more of this style, then do check out the Social Creator Club Pro. Link is in the description. I created a full 1-hour deep dive, which cost me a lot of time to make. And this includes a other map, but also the other editing style that's in Thomas Gonnet's video. I also just want to thank everyone because we're at 35k subscribers, which is insane. When I started this, I couldn't even dream about these numbers. And one of my life goals is to get that silver play button, to get to the 100k, inspire 100,000 editors. That would be insane. Anyway, thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. And then thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.